And we're back with the Mad Mountain Man, Rob Scuba, and the Gamble Rambler himself, Chris Gamble, and me, JJ. What's happening, guys? How you been? It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has been a while, and I'm looking forward to some rambling by the Gambler.
Me too.
I save all my best bits for WhatsApp, you
know? Well, we might have to post that up here in a little bit and expose some of those monumental, legendary Gamble rambles.
The 5 a.m. rambles.
Dude, those are the best.
Yeah.
So, dude, you know what? We started a Facebook group, the Home Tech X group, and we've grown that quite quickly, I believe. I think we have over 120 some odd members.
Over 130.
130.
Yes. Pretty
active. And since we're the Home Tech X, I figure, make today amazing. I figure that we might take a peek and pull some of our community up and discuss questions that they might have and read through some comments. What do you think?
I think we've
had some huge conversations happening. It's only, 2 or 3 weeks old, this community, and it just set off at a blazing pace from the first hour or so of going live. The conversations were just red hot with the latest in home technology, business related things as well. A lot of people getting acquainted with old friends. I think it's been good for people to resurrect friendships with other people in the industry. And we've all brought in our own circle of friends in, which has been good to see that mixture of people from around the globe. And it truly is a global community that's forming there.
It's incredible. The network is so impactful.
And it just gives you a good feeling inside. I know, JJ, you always said you felt like you were on an island when you were doing your Di-Fi Tech, and to find Chris and me, to feel connected in that room and see other people talking about what we do, I think is going to provide a great value to the homeowners, because it's just good energy in that room. It's to get instant answers on projects and trouble you're having. I love it.
Or product solutions, which I like, because they're so variant. There's such a variance in options and opportunities to provide really good quality solutions, and this is a group that we can discuss those openly. I believe that the market is expanding and allowing opportunities for more more end users to get involved with using technology. I think it's just an amazing time.
Not to mention the people that are joining us. We have Vin Bruno from All Tech Pro, Theo Calamarakis, Kim over at Artcoustic. The list goes on of industry greats that we have the pleasure of having in the room.
Yeah, and it all spawned from a WhatsApp group, really, which is still active. But the WhatsApp group became very busy, very cluttered, difficult to search for old conversations, and Facebook was the obvious place to take the crowd, where you could have all the modern conveniences of Facebook. And I've seen a lot of people maybe making their first steps with Facebook Live and posting videos of their highs and lows of being a tech install business owner or tech installer, sharing their experiences from their own homes and what they're doing for themselves, and just sharing that daily journey they're having and creating home tech experiences for homeowners.
Well, cool, guys. Let's get this show on the road here, as they say. I'm going to pull up, and this one I found very interesting. This is our buddy Tom Shelbourne, and he's over on your side of the water there, Chris, right?
Yeah, he's based in the southwest of England. Quiet part of the UK, I would say. It's very much more of a holiday destination in the UK, that part. Devon, Cornwall, lovely part of the UK. And Tom's got a new business there that he started. I think his business is less than 6 months old. And he's found the community very helpful for helping him make decisions quicker than he would if he was doing it on his own and trying to answer all his own questions. He's able to use the community in Facebook and the WhatsApp group. So yeah, Tom, West Country Technology, has a history in this industry from working for previous businesses, and has gone on his own recently.
Well, cool. He had a couple of questions that he posted to the community, and what's great about the community is that you get comments and you get some feedback, and it's professional, qualified, good feedback. We do come from different spaces and different areas of expertise, and that's what I find to be so impactful about this group. So Tom's main question is what are other options that he can provide? This client already has Nest, he already has Ring, he already has Sonos. What other options are there? Okay.
So we can watch the video.
Well, you can't hear it, so I'm just going to edit it in.
Chris, can you bring it up and share or no?
Who's that?
Yeah, who is that? Is that Mr. Brett?
This is Brett Bjorkquist over at Logitech. I have
Surprise.
just done a Logitech takeover, and
Oh man!
I now control your Zoom.
No, we got to get better security, JJ. We won't let these guys in. Just broken to our network.
Hold on, let me go full screen here.
My wife does.
How are you, Brett?
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just entered the building.
Oh my
There
God!
we go. There we go.
You know people. This is cool, man. So we were just talking about solutions, and one of our buddies, Tom, over in the UK, posted something in on our Facebook group, the Home Tech X, and we were just kind of reviewing and giving him not alternatives, but other things that he can add to this celebrity client that he has. So
let's introduce Brett the proper way, since he just snuck in the back door like he's at a Gary Vee show.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good.
So who are you, sir? Identify yourself.
There we go. Well, I think even with Chris, we've chatted briefly, in a few things. But so I head up marketing and strategy for the Pro channel, specifically for Logitech. I come with about 15 years experience, CDI, ISF, HA certed. Started on Good Guys on the West Coast, long ago. And yeah.
What are some other things that we were talking about, fellas?
Brett, I got to tell you, you've completely shocked JJ. He's stumbling over his words at your best appearance. JJ, collect yourself. Stop blushing. Now, Brett, we got to keep in mind that we're on Chris's part of the world. So we're in England, and we just want to know what kind of solutions really work well with Logitech that would help this homeowner experience, some good stuff.
Sure. So let's see here. Is there lighting control in the house right now?
No.
So I don't believe that he has any lighting control in the home yet. No.
Okay. So there's a few things in here. Do you guys have Philips Hue?
We have it. We have it in our showroom. We're using Logitech Harmony to control 36 bulbs in our showroom. We've got it in scenes, groups. We've got it in activities.
So one of the things that we love to talk about in there with dealers is, you could set up. So maybe you put in, Roxy Select on the general switches, because it's expensive to put a bulb in every room in the house, right? When you start talking about recessed lights and lots of lights. So sometimes switches are great for a lot of the main rooms that you just need, dimmable white light. But when you start getting into areas where you want to do maybe a front porch or a bedroom or something like that, you have that capability to, really be able to throw lighting control in there. So if somebody wants to do, maybe it's Christmas time, you can turn the porch lights into red and green, blue and white, whatever you need. You have some options that way, or setting party mode scenes. So like you guys said, if there's Sonos in the room, you can set, we do it all the time when we do our webinars here. We set it up so we have party mode, and that turns on all the speakers, goes to a specific playlist, and then turns the lights into red and blue and pink and all that kind of stuff. So, again, it's something that typically would be in the high-end side, would be when you start getting into colored lighting control. So, sticking something like that into a celebrity, place where, they can actually, not just turn on audio, but actually have the lighting control in the room change, and not even just dim, which most of their friends have, but having it dim and change color would be something in there that could be pretty cool too.
Very cool.
And you can create an activity to do all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you could tie it into an activity, you can control it individually. But yeah, you tie it into an activity that says, party mode, or, or dinner time or whatever else. And, again, your lighting changes, or your TV turns on, your lights dim to the appropriate level and change colors. Makes for pretty compelling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so lighting control, what else?
We're doing that. We're doing that already for our clients. Typical installation for us would see 20 plus Hue bulbs,
Mm-hmm.
mainly color changing. We're a big fan of their LED strips that they
Mm-hmm.
and we include them in activities at the start and at the end of activities in the Logitech Harmony setup. So again, watching a movie, when you end that activity, the lights increase in brightness and go back to a more natural, maybe a cool or warm white for the room.
Sure.
But when you start the activity, reduces the brightness and introduces some color for that bit of drama and a bit of mood lighting.
Yep.
Can we integrate climate control with the Logitech remotes? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. So we would work, your two primaries would be either a Nest thermostat or an Ecobee thermostat. And then we work with certain Honeywell Wi-Fi based thermostats. But like I said, Nest and Ecobee, based on the brands that we're talking about in here and things like that, obviously Nest would be a great brand. But yeah, I mean, you can set a home and away mode. You can change, temperature settings based on, again, I don't typically change my temperature settings based on watching a TV show, but, again, you could program it into an activity as well as having, app-based control of it as well. So absolutely.
Brad, I don't know what you watch, but some of the shows me and my wife watch, it can get pretty hot in the room,
That's there they.
you're going to have a very white activity.
Yeah, I might want some cool air blowing.
Right.
I might want the lights to dim.
Cool it down just a little bit. Absolutely. The other thing you can run, depending on what the house looks like in there, if he's got a fake, an IR-based fireplace, you could run something like that. So, a thermos or a fireplace control that has an infrared input on it, we'd be able to control something like that as well.
I'm in a room full of integrators, and I got you, Brett, and I'm just, one of the pieces that I don't hear a lot about is the pop. And if you could tell us, or, Chris and JJ jump in, and, how can we use that? Tom's got all these pieces, and I think just adding a pop might add just a different experience. What do you guys think?
I can say that we use pop buttons for our homeowners. It's very much an add-on accessory to existing systems. It's things we like to maybe bundle in as a little add-on that they weren't expecting. That we've also placed a tactile button on a coffee table or the entrance to the room before they get to their Logitech Harmony. They might not want to reach for the app or the handheld remote. They just want a single button press. So we're finding it a really flexible button, not just for integrating with Harmony, but we're using it as a HomeKit button as well.
Sure.
Which is allowing us to broadcast huge lighting commands, scenes within HomeKit and not just activities within Logitech Harmony. So, three functions per button. So you've got single press, double press, press and hold, and then each of those can have individual commands within them. After this or at the weekend, we'll definitely do some videos in our showroom, just showing members of the community and followers of HomeTech X what we're doing with just which can often be on Amazon, like an £11 device. It's incredibly
Powerful,
inexpensive.
JJ, can you bring up a picture while we're here?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that I like about the Logipop is it's very kid friendly. I mean, and it allows a child to not have to access voice control. Some people don't necessarily do voice control, but that you don't have to have a remote for the kiddo or a cell phone or a wireless device. And it gives a kiddo very easy access to, a particular channel or, let me see here, and I'm pulling it up to a particular channel and turn on the display, the audio in a particular channel real quick, or bump it over to, a Blu-ray or something like that. Let me see here.
And I can control lighting with that pop if I have Lutron, Caseta, or Select?
Yeah, you can. So it works with Caseta as it stands right now, as well as Philips Hue. So if you want to do color modes into there. But yeah, like everybody's been saying with it, I mean, the beauty of pop is that it's simple. And the way that we look at these products is that, there's not one product that's right in a house, right? So, if I'm sitting in my family room, I probably got a remote in my hand. People still like that tactile feel, lights kind of down, watching TV. And so, you got your remote that's able to kind of handle that. When you walk into a room, like Chris was talking about, or walking in and out, put it on a nightstand. It's great to be able to do a good morning scene or a good night scene. It's great for those. And like I said, there's basically a single tap, a double tap, and a long press. So you have 3 specific commands, and they can toggle or be discrete. So you can have it so the same button does the same thing every time, or like with Sonos, like in the picture JJ put up, it'll actually play and pause and things like that. So some great ways to be able to use that. And then we use that along with kind of the third solution of voice. So, I got my remote in my hand. I got a pop button for simple scene control. And then obviously when it comes to voice integration, we probably own about 92% of the voice control market, with the integrations with things like Alexa and Google, Assistant. So, again, it's one of those, I walk into the house, I walk into another room, I have that voice control integration, plus scene control, plus full remote, depending on what I need.
So is this battery powered or you have to wire it in?
No, it's battery powered. So basically there's a little button cell battery, pops right out of the back. But that pop will actually that battery lasts about 5 years under typical use. So, again, really easy to install.
I like using the Pico for my lighting. I have a couple of locations in my kitchen where I wanted a light switch, but now that I'm thinking about the Pico, if it's battery operated, if I'm thinking about the Pop, I could actually walk up to it in the morning and hit the light because of my coffee pot instead of the Pico, but then I could double tap it if I want the music to come on.
Yeah, exactly right. So
and a lot of people, security, they don't want to use Alexa because of security, which I'm a big Alexa fan and I don't have nothing to hide, but I think the Pop is an excellent solution for people that don't want to use voice, and it gives you all these little opportunities out of one button.
Well, and that's exactly right. Again, we get into a lot of things like with automation. Nobody wants to turn off if you have, 20, 30, 100 lights, sitting in a house. Nobody wants to have to sit there and remember to turn everything on and off, or you realize that you forgot something. Having a button on your nightstand that you can just tap and it turns off all the lights in the house. And it can trigger any Harmony activity as well. So you could actually have it turn off your TV. You could have it turn on your TV. Whatever you want to control, it has the capability of controlling quite a few devices.
That's why I love these podcasts, guys. I have ideas running through my head with my daughter, mounting one up on her bunk bed where she's got just a button. She could double tap, light comes on, tap at the TV. We could do all that. I guess it's endless, the possibilities.
Yep. Exactly right. So
it's always there. I'm not looking for the remote. I'm not looking for a device. It's mounted on the wall.
Yeah, exactly right. And these are simple. So some people use them loose, so that they just kind of, they float around. People kind of like them as temporary buttons that they can kind of take around with them. Other people, we have it basically like a 3M stick tape, so it won't damage the surface when you pull it off. Mm-hmm. But basically you can use that to stick it on a wall. So if you want to use it like a light switch, or somewhere else where you want to put it in a more permanent space so it's always there. Again, great simple way for, some general scene control for people.
One thing that I really like about the entire Logitech platform is that it gives power back to the client. Like once we install these systems and get them set up and provide the end user with the education, they can go in there and make their own edits if necessary, or create their own activities, either with the Harmony solution or with the Pop solution. And it allows them to be creative if they so desired.
Yeah, just touching on that, JJ, we're finding now we're getting a lot of approaches from what I would term second generation smart home owners. So they've had a flavor and a taste of smart home maybe in a period of maybe 2010 to 2015, and maybe thought that was the latest and greatest thing, but are now realizing that it was the early years of smart home, and they did feel locked out of the systems they had, and they relied on a professional to come regularly to the home. Now we're seeing quite high up on the wish list is we want systems that we manage, that we are in control of, with different user preferences, things that are tailored to each person in the home, and they don't want to spend the same amount of money that they spent the first time. That's another big factor we're finding from the second generation smart home buyer, is that they didn't really see a return on the investment last time, and they're a bit wary of spending the same this time. So again, just to echo what you've said there, I think giving the homeowner the ability to manage their own tech, they seem to manage fine with complicated mobile phones and laptops and subscriptions to TV and music. Why should it be any different for their light bulbs, their thermostats, and their blinds?
I think it's a great point. You have second generation, they want it easier, and I keep thinking about my daughter and how simple, I'm thinking the easy button by Staples, guys. I mean, that's what this thing is, with 3 different stages on it. I don't want to get sued for saying Staples easy button, but it just takes so much, it's great.
Yep, absolutely. And again, just to echo what you guys are saying in there too, like I said, I was working with a with a dealer and a client that I introduced him to this morning. where, they basically had a system, set up with another, with another brand, and it wasn't the control brand. In all reality, we all know, you guys, it's not the control brand. All of us can kind of do something similar. It's the installer, right? It's the integrator. It's spending the time to learn your trade, know what you're doing with this kind of stuff. But effectively, this guy dropped $70,000 plus on a system, and it didn't work. And they haven't been able to get it to work for 2 years. And it happens every day. We see this, right? This isn't new stuff, for a lot of integrators that have been doing it for a while. Many guys build their business off of fixing other people's issues. But similarly, like I said, they got sold on a big, heavy system. And it just wasn't wired properly. It wasn't set up properly. And so, now we end up basically, they're out there yesterday, today, and tomorrow, going in to basically fix this install. And it's 7 different video zones, with I think 7 or 8 audio zones, a little bit of lighting control and everything like that. And again, we're able to control it with Harmony. So in that case, we're using Harmony, we're using Sonos. They have, I think, 5 Nest thermostats in the house. So quite a few areas there. And then we're adding some Ratu Select lighting. So, again, it's a great way to be able to show. But one of the things was this homeowner was so apprehensive about bringing in another installer because they had such a kind of a bad, experience with this first one. Yeah. And that's understandable, 2 years and that kind of cash. But at the end of it, we walked through it with them, and the installer made him feel good about it. And one of the things that he wanted to know was that once it was all installed, 2 things. One, that he could, tweak some small things that they wanted to do, like I said, with lighting, maybe some favorites, and then the second part was if there was something that was needed, how would they get help? With Logitech, one of the great things is that you can actually do that already. So, an installer can log in through our dealer portal and they can actually, update any of the programming, push that sync remotely to the client without having to roll a truck out there. So,
I see.
I've got a quote in front of me from a client that says, it is important that we can do all the lighting and heating, setting, programming, and not have to call you out all the time. We had this experience in our previous home and we're so frustrated. But further down, regarding the network, there's a quote where he says, with that kind of product, we would look for your support and you to be able to remotely access our network to be able to give us the latest security updates. It shows you, I think, the awareness homeowners have got, and it's increasing day upon day now that they're able to research much more about smart home. You research the legacy brands, the brands that were popular 10 years ago, there's still very little about them. You research now Lutron, Sonos, Nest, Logitech, Amazon Echo. There's forums, there's communities, there's hundreds of voices talking about these products every day on social media. They're not in the dark anymore. The homeowner can find out everything about this product. They can speak to people that have lived with them. They can speak to experts who install them. We get direct messages daily, hourly almost on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter about, those half a dozen brands I just listed off there. We didn't get that kind of engagement before with the legacy brands that we dealt with, 2007, 8, 9, 10. We didn't get that engagement. Everything was in the dark. Now it's in full, open, fair game.
I think a lot of it has to do with the awareness Alexa's bringing. I always say a rising tide lifts all the boats, and I think Alexa is really one of those big tides that is bringing awareness to people that they can do their lights through a voice. But I think it's important we bring up things like POP, which it changes the game if we just keep really informing the homeowner. And Brett, that's what we're doing here at the Home Tech X, is really bringing awareness to the homeowner and helping them out. And I think we're going to do a good job.
Yep, absolutely.
I appreciate you jumping in here and surprising me for sure. And I know we talked about it. I didn't realize it was today. I need to check my calendar, I guess. Ooh, I was like, did I miss something?
No, you were good. I just happened to be, I was pinging Rob on something else, and we said, let's take it over. So I said, not a problem. If it's Zoom, I can always jump in there. So, cool. Hey, I appreciate the time, you guys. Absolutely. Anything you guys ever need, just let me know.
All right.
Brett, the biggest value you just gave us is that information. I love when manufacturers are engaged, and I see you on Facebook a lot, even putting deals out there. You picked up the phone for us. I don't even want to tell people what time of night just to get an answer. And listen, that you support us, and we're going to support you 100,000%. And appreciate you working as hard as we do, really.
Okay, absolutely, man. These are the way the royal relationships work, right? So, cool. Appreciate the time, guys. Anything you need.
Thank you.
Take care, Brett. See you, bud.
Bye, guys.
Elvis has left the building.
What? Are you kidding me? That is so awesome. Rob, you sneaky guy.
Yeah.
You sneaky guy. That is awesome.
Sneaky. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I thought we'd finished the show.
I think Rob has something that we're always going to say at the very end of the show.
Right.
We are your tech guys.
Oh, the wrong show. No.
What do you want to say?
I don't know. Something, about our community and, where you can find us. And
Yeah, just again, we can run
I would
through that.
I wouldn't worry about that. Don't worry about
that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
That's it.
All right, y'all ready, guys? Here we go. Rob,
Yeah.
ready? Come on, Gamble, get it up. That's a wrap. Awesome.